Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Another video for you from the New Blood Championship for Fury of Dracula. We've got another post-game analysis as well. This one's between Topher playing as the Hunters and Wyrmtalon playing as Dracula. Wyrmtalon live streamed this match and very kindly provided the footage for me on YouTube. But not only that, Wyrmtalon is actually in the commentary booth with me. Hello Wyrmtalon.
Hello, Scott Sword. Hello, viewers. Hopefully, this will be informative.
I'm sure it will. And welcome to the channel. If it is this the first time you've been on the channel? I can't remember. Or did we do a commentary with Met King one time?
As far as I recall, this is our first commentary together, so
Well, welcome,
it'll be
welcome.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
thank you.
It's gonna be
It's
great.
nice to be welcome to the channel.
It's great to see your perspective. We were just saying it off camera, right? We're going to see a Dracula perspective here, which a lot of the time, as you made a very good point, when we do like live streams and other commentaries, if it's from the third person perspective, you still put a lot of thought into what the hunters are going to be doing, and you see this sort of the hunter perspective, having to guess where Dracula is. It's going to be nice seeing it from a Dracula perspective today. I don't know the result. Obviously, you do because you played it. I know nothing. I don't know who's won this. I've purposely not looked at the results. I haven't processed anything, so I don't know who's won this. How did you feel coming into this? Because I can't remember what happened in your fifth game, but you're definitely 4-0 at least before this game.
This game I was going into it fairly confident. I always try to never underestimate my opponents. My attitude is generally pretend the other person is Pizza Wizard, regardless of who it is. So, but I was feeling pretty confident because going into this, I had a 4-1 record going in.
Okay. So yeah, in general, first stage, doing pretty well. So yeah, I think you can take that. What was your defeat on? Was that on Hunters or on Dracula? I might have seen the game, but I can't remember. I've seen so many matches.
My defeat was on Hunters.
Interesting.
I
Okay.
I lost 2 horses early on and just never got my movement back together.
Ooh, yikes! That's a rough one. Yeah, I hate to see
Yeah,
that as a Hunter player. All right.
yeah.
So yeah, basically, obviously, this if you want to see Wormtalon's perspective with commentary, then it'll be well, I guess it won't be on the playlist, but
Well,
you'll
this
find it on the Twitch, right?
uh, well, this one I did not record live commentary for because I wasn't necessarily feeling the best. So,
Okay, that's
at least,
understandable.
yeah. So this one does not have live commentary. This is the only commentary we've got on it.
Okay then. So this is gonna be really cool because it means then as we go through, obviously I'll have thoughts on certain things. You can tell me your thought process. And we have a little bit of back and forth on it. So yeah, anytime you want to stop if there's something you want to highlight or something that you're like, I could have reconsidered it a different way, then just point it out. And since you're slightly, even though it's the New Blood Championship, you were in the previous World Championship and all that stuff. So we can go, even though we'll keep the conversation as broad as possible for people who are watching, then we can still go into a little bit more technical detail, given you got a little bit more experience. There might be things from previous tournament experience that you might fall back on in this match. It'll be interesting to see what you think.
Okay.
All right, we'll get into it. I can skip forward to there we go. People watch. I don't know if we're going to hear much game volume. I've turned it down as low as possible, but maybe I can turn up a little bit more. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So I guess then the question is Topher going to go with stand setup? When you play Dracula, do you think of a plan of where you're going to start beforehand, or you just wait until you see what your opponent does in terms of setup?
I I usually wait until I see where my opponents put their hunters, because if they do something that's a bit non-standard, such as
This.
what Topher does here,
Mm-hmm.
it makes you think, well, what do I do with this setup?
Mm-hmm.
Can I do any unusual plays that might throw them off?
So if you don't know, the
And it's,
reason why we're talking about this being a bit unusual is we got Godalming on his own. Right? Normally he's with Mina in 58, not Seward and Mina together. And also he's off the rail line, which I also find kind of an interesting thing to do. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe Topher's had really bad experiences with people going Gadif, so they just want to stop it, which is understandable.
It could be. I'm not sure what his thinking was behind this start, but I mean, he's got Mina and Seward together,
Mm-hmm.
so at least she's protected.
I'm seeing that you've just taken you've looked at that setup and you've taken the advantage of the fact that Godalming A is on his own and also he's not on the rail line, he's not in Madrid, so you're just going into Saragossa, so you're gonna stay. You're definitely. Was there any consideration maybe starting east here or maybe like southern Italy or something like that? Why Spain?
Mostly because I see the opportunity for Spain starts so rarely. So when I see the opportunity, I generally will take it because Spain is just such an unusual place to start as, and I like the little bit different experience of trying out new places.
That's fair enough. Just want to say really good there. Just instantly checking what Mina has. It's so easy just day one just to you're not settled into the game yet, and it's so easy just to miss something. And then I've seen it before where hunter players get something really powerful on Mina, and then they trade it away instantly onto Van Helsing, and then Jack has no idea what it is because they weren't looking. So yeah, really good. Just that muscle memory of just click on Mina immediately and see what she has. You've got that information in your head. That's a good. Obviously, you can't do too much for the first week. It'll be interesting to see what sort of encounter trail you have, or what sort of encounters you have for a start, because you don't see them before you place.
And which is an interesting dynamic in the digital edition.
Would you prefer it that you could see the encounters first?
I think so, yes, because then you can make more of a plan of where you're going to go before you place your initial start location.
It would obviously make, I think, that turn for Dracula, placing the start, choosing the starting location longer, but for strategy, I don't necessarily mind it. Oh, I've seen you've got a lot of vampires in your hand. I don't know, are you thinking in these sort of tournament games, you just want to throw down a vampire with Rumor Token instantly because you start quite close to Godalming and you start, thinking of doing something else?
Well, I like to throw down a vampire early if I can, as long as I don't have something like a hoax to put before it.
Okay.
But I usually will wait until a couple days pass before I put down a rumor.
Mm.
On the one hand, if the hunters do get some information, I don't just have well, that's a dead rumor.
Mm.
And I can save it for some other place.
Oh wow, long night in play already. Again, I don't know. This is very hard because obviously we don't see the hunter's perspective. Is that a hunter who is playing it deliberately, or is just, interface issues, wanting to ignore it, but clicks submit by mistake? I think when you're playing, especially against slightly more inexperienced players, let's say, not completely inexperienced, but I think just trying to throw down that vampire early and trying to rush 7 points, I don't think it's a bad idea, because you can then cause quite a lot of panic when I was like that when I first started playing. You used to see the we used to see the influence track going up to 7 very very early, and Dracula's halfway to victory. It can cause some jitters.
Yeah, for sure. Especially when you're a bit newer, seeing those 7 points on the board, it's a little scary.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely say so. Because you basically can't let anything else mature. That's the thing. So you got quite a lot of leverage over your opponent. The whole thing about hunters is trying to play them efficiently and dealing with the trail, and then having to think about catching you. They might end up getting caught too much going up for you, and then they leave a second rumor to mature. Or they might not get the timing right to deal with the mature, or they might not be equipped enough, and then, yeah, you can force them into really bad fights or awkward situations where they got no stakes or whatever. Yeah, and that's also good advice for newer players. Keep checking the discard pile, especially the items. I mean, events is a little bit more awkward because the events are discarded face down. So if the hunters are discarding events, you can't see them unless it's played in the discard pile. But for items, yeah, it's really important that you keep track of discarded items. You get a lot of information that way about what the hunters are carrying, and then if you count it really well, you'll be able to potentially work out who is carrying what thing. If you see Godalming discarding something really powerful like a Heavenly Host, then you might suddenly realize maybe he already has a Heavenly Host. Because you want to be running around with two of them, especially if you've got horses. Oh! Long Night coming into play. So actually utilizing it.
Yep.
So maybe it wasn't a mistake then.
He might have been hoping that I would start in or go to Madrid because of the Cadiz start.
So does this automatically cause you to rethink what you're going to do? Because now suddenly Godalming's blocking that spot. Are you going to now... You are going to do the misdirect then, I guess. It was you're thinking about what you're going to do affected by that Long Night?
Yes, it was. I was planning on going back to Saragossa after Santander, but as you can see, I went to Bordeaux afterward to get a little more distance.
Yeah, especially since Godalming didn't get a ticket that night. He might not have the ticket required to get to Bordeaux, and then would he actually move to Bordeaux anyway? It is risky. Arguably, you could go back to Lisbon or something, because Godalming is unlikely to backtrack, but then all it takes is an evil presence, and then you're kind of trapped, and you can't go through the middle of Madrid. You have to run all the way around the outside.
Yeah, I was more worried about the potential of evil presence or local rumors than him actually walking onto me. So I didn't actually consider the rail line to Bordeaux at the time that I moved there.
So yeah, actually then checked Alicante. So here's the thing, so if Topher's watching this, if you just started Godalming in Madrid, you wouldn't have to be checking these sort of locations, because there's too much risk that an evil presence appears, and Godalming's covering all of Spain apart from Barcelona. And if it is Barcelona, it's only a 2 white ticket away, so you can easily get there to stop it from maturing, whatever it is. Once it gets discovered, obviously. So yeah.
Yeah, before the long night was played, my plan was to backtrack through Saragossa to Barcelona and then go up to Clermont-Ferrand.
Okay. So then by the time you get, if there is a newspaper, say day 5, then you'd be in Clermont-Ferrand by that time, but Santander is the thing that gets revealed.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Clermont-Ferrand 15 gives you quite a lot of options. You'd be able to assess the movement of Mina and Seward. You can maybe wolf form past them, or you can move a couple turns then wolf form. You've got quite a lot of options from there. So I kind of like that. It's kind of like a more like delayed Barcelona start, really. If I start in Barcelona, I'll do something similar. Obviously, you're doing it a little bit later, but you've got a longer trail to deal with. Which is nice. Godami can't stay there because he's gonna have to get items at some point. Okay, nice psychic scan. That makes sense. Okay, now you're going to Colonel Fran, I guess.
I sped up the schedule of getting there a little bit.
And then you got the rumor token. I was going to say just before, like, are you going to remember to put the rumor? But you did. That's good. I see some players just throwing it down instantly just so they don't forget, which is also fine too. But yeah, if you can wait a little bit, Obviously, it'll be Sod's law that newspaper reports will be drawn now. But as a Dracula, you just have to deal with that and put up with it.
Yeah, that's just how the cards go sometimes.
Yep. And the thing for the Hunter play too, because Long Night got used. Oh, rail. Interesting. Okay. Well, this is good for you. Good arming's not supplying. Could also mean he has a really good hand already. But
It could.
that
It
space
could.
2
And
supplies.
I was worrying about that.
Also, too, he's not revealing horses, so that's also a good thing. Okay, I'm going to start counting. I'm going to do my obnoxious count of how many supplies the hunters have missed. So Kadami moved twice. Sud, because one of them was Long Night, doesn't count.
Yeah.
But then all the other hunters have moved, so that's 5 supplies missed already. So because obviously it's, newcomers won't be aware of the meta, and that's fine. But yeah, the idea as a hunter player, you sit still until you get some sort of lead to where Dracula is, which is hopefully going to be a newspaper reports. If it's something like a hide scouts or whatever, that's fine as well. Or local rumors or your presence, as we said. If the only way you find Dracula is that vampire matures, if that's your only lead, then just stay still and supply. Because if you're not getting things that will find Dracula, like newspaper reports or whatever, you're getting other things. You'll be getting some really strong events. I'm already seeing there, because the Long Night got played, there's also another Dawn prompt. So it makes it even more likely that it's a renewed figure. Whereas as a Long Night, you can kind of hide the renewed figure. So yeah, this is good for you. Very good for you.
I feel like in this game I got a bit thrown off by my opponent kind of playing off meta because I was trying to play kind of counter meta, which is definitely an interesting interaction between an experienced player and a newer player.
Yeah. And if you say, will the two things just cancel each other out then, if that's the case?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing with this game. It doesn't really matter. You don't have to play flawlessly to win. You just have to make fewer mistakes than your opponent, or the gravity of the mistakes have to be fewer, or not as strong, and then you can win. So yeah, that's the thing. If you get thrown off by this and then get caught, then it could be bad for you. But at the same time, the fact that Dalming's moving to C, this is looking kind of nice. And it's gonna get you.
It is looking nice for me at the moment.
Yeah. Oh, sewage supplied in place in a small city. Interesting. So I've seen it with newer players where they move around the board trying to find Dracula, and they do end up finding him, and it can work. But this is a situation where it is not working, and you're going to get punished for it so much. You're basically flipping a coin. That you may as well just do that instead of moving around the hunters. Just flip a coin, and you'll decide if you find him or not. You're either going to move away from him or you're going to move towards him. Sometimes you find him with psychic scans or just by stumbling into his trail. Other times, it's gonna end up like this, where it looks like you're gonna get 7 points right off the bat. What happens next, I don't know, but oh, night supplying, that's bold. Oh, gets it. Oh. Now, obviously, that was at the bottom of the deck, so I'm not gonna say in any way that if they just stayed in place, they would have found you, because not necessarily. I think you would have moved. And who? Yeah, you wouldn't be nice to playing anyway. So yeah, that's just an unlucky. Good card, but it was just at the bottom of the deck, and the timing wasn't going to work out.
Yeah, can't really fault the not can't fault that specific case of it
No,
because it was a night's supply. So
indeed, that's two. That's
usually you're not going to get that until after a Mystic research.
That's right. If it was a top card, then we could start, you know. But no, it was a bottom card. It was just a night supply. Um, just yeah, that's unlucky for the hunters. You got a card like that at the bottom, and it doesn't work out for you. So you're going for sort of the classic strategy here of just play play vampires apart from each other. So if one matures, they're not wiping away the others. Ooh, he had a newspaper and was still. Oh, I wonder, did no Mina didn't draw that newspaper. So they were moving around even though they had newspaper. That's very interesting. I hope Kadami has a 3-2 to get there. Okay, in case anyone's wondering what I'm meaning, is because Kadami was in Mediterranean Sea, so if he landed in Alicante, he only needs a 2 white to get to Santander, but from Barcelona, he needs a 3 white. And depending on tickets, he might not have. It maybe has a 3-2 ticket, and that's fine if he does. Interesting. Ah, maybe he's flooding the pool with 3-2 tickets to try and make sure that Kadami picks it up. So I would say as a hunter player, especially in that situation, if you have newspaper reports, don't move. I would only understand moving around in sort of like Friday, Saturday, if you've got nothing. If you have no newspaper, and yeah, you don't want to, you want to have a chance to try and find it, then fair enough. If you want to move around, that's okay. But if he must have drawn newspaper day 1 or day 2.
Yeah, he must have.
Unless he got it with Mina with the night supply, but then didn't activate it. Which,
I could understand that, wanting to know exactly what the rumor is. But at the same time, if you're not close enough to deal with it, then knowing where it is doesn't help as much
well, that's very
as
true.
getting more up-to-date information of where Dracula might be.
Oh, that's nice for you. Obviously doesn't help there's vampire mature, but that could come in handy later. So that was normal odds. No, the third of the event cards are Dracula cards. So he's done 3 night supplies, or your opponent's done 3 night supplies, and got 1 Dracula card. Well, it's actually not 3 night supplies, that's not true. One of them was a long night move. So they've interacted with 3 cards at the bottom, and one of them was a Dracula card. So those are even odds. So if you're a hunter player, a budding hunter player, if you get newspaper like that, just stay still. You're gonna have time. You're gonna get the movement. You'll have items. With the setup that was employed, most of the map can be covered. And just with those few extra supplies, might have got the fast horses. Now, there's possible that there's some really unfortunate stuff happening with maybe there's a double horse on somebody. Interesting. Why hide here?
I wanted to hide here because I wanted to see if I could move east without interacting with Seward and Mina. I wanted to go that way and hopefully have them move past me, trying to get to my trail.
Okay. Is Gudami going to get there? Doesn't. That's unfortunate for the Hunters. There's a risk though with Seward. He's on a white rail line to you.
That
But
is true.
doesn't walk into you. So I guess you're looking to maybe go to 41 and then slip through Munich, or maybe even go the long way around Prague, Vienna, and get past Mina that way.
Yeah, that's about what my thinking is at this moment.
Yeah, that seems sensible, since neither of them seem to have horses either. This is pretty good for you too, because once this vampire matures, what's going to be taken off the trail? Bordeaux, Clermont-Ferrand, and Geneva. And obviously, Geneva's adjacent to Seward. So if they start going the wrong way, obviously they go into Strasbourg, then they don't know where you are. But otherwise, they won't have much of an idea where you are. Did you then go back into Spain? Very good, don't misclick.
I have misclicked too many times. Wolfform hid a few times. I try to be careful about it.
When I play in tournament games, I literally have to read the prompt out loud, like a little kid learning to read, to make damn sure that I don't misclick it. I'm just so paranoid one of these days I will do it incorrectly.
I probably should take up doing that as well, honestly.
So yeah. Gadawi checks Bordeaux, but Bordeaux's been wiped off the trail, so no information there. Okay, that was something that, given the, Strasbourg high traffic area, makes sense that Seward checks it. So that was a good check for Seward. You could have easily gone the other way. You could have gone down via sort of Genoa, Marseille, Genoa, and you could be in the boot right now.
Yeah.
But checking Strasbourg makes a lot of sense. Hmm. Okay, and just for the viewers, why did you push him into Geneva of all the choices that you had? Obviously, you wouldn't push him into your current location.
Honestly, I don't remember why I chose Geneva. I feel I should have just pushed him back to where he moved in from.
So you don't give up
Because I
the
just
information. Yeah.
yeah. So I don't remember why I chose Geneva at that time.
I think it's fine because you're giving away a little bit of information.
It might be because that was 2 roads away instead of one.
I think that's a very sensible place to put Seward, especially since he doesn't seem to have horses. Okay, so that was interesting then. Does that change your decision if you're going to wolf form or not? Oh, interesting. Not going east. Oh, what made you change your mind?
Oh, mostly I think I just got scared and was thinking, okay, I should get to sea and run away because they were kind of closing in and surrounding me. So I was worried about being too close to Mina, so I wanted the extra space.
Now the thing with this, because you've wolf formed into Hamburg, you're almost committing to go to sea immediately. There's an option there. Maybe you could have gone to somewhere as like Berlin, for example, and then gone into Hamburg, and you delay that information about you going to sea maybe a turn or two longer.
That's a good point.
Now, obviously, with Godalming moving up like this, then maybe you made the right choice. Obviously, if Godalming just randomly charted carriage on top of you, then obviously, if you're in Berlin, then obviously you made the right choice by going to Hamburg. Oh, especially the way that Van Helsing's moving. Obviously, it's all easy in hindsight, but obviously now a wolf
Yeah.
form down into Marseille would be amazing.
Yeah. And the other place I had been considering was wolf form into Venice.
Venice is good. I find it's a very overlooked city. I've done wolf forms from Nuremberg to Venice before, and it seems to be the last place that people check.
And obviously, in hindsight, that would have been the correct option in this game since he sent all his hunters north after me.
But then that's easy to say now once we've seen them move.
Yes.
If you'd gone,
Yeah.
I don't know, anywhere, so say you gone to Marseille, and they could have all railed on top of you. Well, at least Godalming and Van Helsing could have.
Yeah,
So
it's easy to say that was the right move after you see what the opponent did after you.
I don't think you had to. I don't think you needed to ambush Mina there. She revealed a rifle that you already knew that she had, so you didn't gain additional information. If she searched it, I mean, I know it's unlikely that she would search it at night given the situation, but if she did search it, then she would lose a day action, which is way more valuable for you.
Okay. I can see that.
See, the cool thing with this is you could have actually now wolf formed to Venice with this movement going to sea. But Van Helsing can check very, very easily.
Yes, and I feel I played this card too early.
Okay, you just said the thing that I was thinking.
Because here I'm kind of giving away where I did go to sea from. I tried to obfuscate with the Adriatic as well, but especially putting it in the North Sea first.
The problem is obviously Van Helsing can just check Hamburg tomorrow, so the bluff
Yes, that
doesn't
as
last
well.
for the problem. The bluff doesn't last for long. If they were all congregated, say near Marseille or somewhere else, let's say I don't know how this would ever happen, but if they're all congregating around Bordeaux and Clermont-Ferrand, even maybe potentially Marseille, because they would need at least 2 turns to get to Venice, then maybe you could pull off this bluff. But still, obviously, once a hunter checks the port city, then I would say in that situation, yeah, you want to hold the cards as long as possible. Wait for the hunters to get to the port as if they're going to go to sea, and then you hit them with it. And they've wasted all that time moving to a port that they then can't actually get out of. And then they have to backtrack into the trail and all that sort of malarkey. That's okay. I mean, how many Dracula events have you ever received in your life?
Handful. I think
Yeah.
it might literally be 5 or 6.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. The way the meta is played, we don't get many Dracula cards, or events rather. So because of that, it is quite hard to know when exactly is the right time to play them, especially as a slightly more inexperienced player. Okay, interesting. That'd be a very bold move on her part if she doesn't have a stake, but we'll see. I guess she doesn't know it's a vampire, so
At this point, she knows the location, but not the event
yeah.
or encounter, rather.
Yeah, and you could also argue you just played bats as a purely protecting you maneuver by batting Seward away and stuff, not actually protecting the encounter. So it might not be a fighting vampire. So yeah, I think not ambushing. I think is okay. And it's only a new vampire with worth 3 points. It wouldn't be the end of the world if it got staked. We'll have to see. Because imagine this turn. I don't know if Van Helsing's going to search or not. But even if it would actually be better for you if Van Helsing searched. Godalming goes to North Atlantic. You could then throw down Summon Storms in Irish Sea and English Channel and North Sea. And then what does Godalming do next day? Is he going to land an island, or is he going to backtrack? 'Cause he's got no other sea space he can go to. So yeah, it's just a case of being a little bit patient. But then there are some other times where you have the Dracula card, and then you don't get the chance to use it because you waited one turn too long. I would say though, in this situation, you've seen the hunters haven't been supplying much. Okay, there goes your hoax, but they put a stake on it, so that's good for you. They haven't been supplying much. You can play the probability game here. What are the odds that they have renewed vigor and excellent weather to get ahead of you? Very unlikely. Oh wow, okay. Bye bye vampire. Now sometimes the probability game doesn't work, but I think situations like that, you can play the odds a little bit. Do you want to land in Britannica here, or you want to keep going?
Here, I am wanting to land in Britannica, but I'm also trying to sow some confusion.
Okay. So what's the plan now? You're going to move one more sea space and then land? So you're going to go potentially Irish Sea into Britannica?
Yeah, one more sea space and then land.
Yeah, that's interesting, because that could then be English Channel, or Irish Sea, or North Atlantic, or South Atlantic. See, South Atlantic isn't as threatening as Mediterranean. That's the only problem. That's the thing. If you'd maybe waited with the Summon Storms until this turn to have played them, you could have just landed at Britannica. Because they'd be stuck there, and they'll need so many turns to get to you. And if you remove the storms in the right order, you can funnel them into Britannica the way that you went in, so then you can sneak out the other side before they get a chance to land on top of you. Oh wow. That's a very unfortunate time with that, local rumours. Oh, I've only Godalming supplied. You would have known that you're in North Atlantic. Ah. But then, if he'd been supplying more, then he would have drawn those local rumours much, much earlier, so it's all...
Yeah, it's a bit mixed up.
Yeah, exactly. You start getting into a lot of what-ifs with this game. So, I mean... Good thing for hunters, the whole trail's dealt with, so you do have to be a little bit careful here. If you get jumped on and they do actually have good items, and after taking sea damage, yeah, you might be in a little bit of danger here.
I would say so.
You don't have any fog at the moment to counter that. Godalming doesn't have forewarned, so because he has no event, so you can work around that a little bit, but obviously you don't have the fog, so it's a tricky one. So for you budding Dracula players out there, when I'm playing Drag, or anyone's playing Drag, try to keep an eye on the event cards that the hunters have. If you see someone like Godalming, who is the lead hunter, he'll normally move first, unless there's a speedy telegraph. If he has forewarned, or if maybe Seward even, if he's the furthest hunter that's forward or is closest to your location, if they've got event cards, then there could be potentially a forewarned, and that's a lot of danger for you. I know Van Helsing could have forewarned and trades it to one of them, but if they're at sea, he can't trade. So you can kind of work with that to your advantage. Yeah, shame you don't have your wolf form here. But I know why you used wolf form early. I'm not complaining about you not using wolf form. I think it was a valid use of wolf form from Nuremberg. Yeah, just a shame that it didn't buy you the time that you needed.
Here, as you can see, I'm deciding between South Atlantic and English Channel.
Mm-hmm. If I was looking at the game board in this state, I think South Atlantic might be better because there's a bit of a risk here that if you go English Channel, Godalming might just spontaneously go to the Irish Sea, and then he's moving into you. You're going to meet each other in Britannica. It's not really what you want.
Yeah. And I did almost move to South Atlantic. I clicked it, Drac moved over there, and then I pressed no. Then I
So it's good that you got.
decided
Yeah.
English Channel.
It's good that you got the prompts so you can change your mind on moves if need be.
But in hindsight, I do agree that South Atlantic would have been a better choice.
When you got your fog though, that might be what you need. I mean, the good thing with South Atlantic is if something really bad happens, you just have to get to a Mediterranean port and then you can just leave again. If you're in the UK, depending on how the timing works, you're going to be trapped. Obviously, then consecrated ground. If they have it, icy, just Godalming spontaneously moves to Irish Sea, even though he doesn't know where you are. But he's working ahead of time that you're going to Britannica. Because you don't have your wolf form, so it's not like you can do something really sneaky here and go wolf form from North Atlantic into Santander as an example. So yeah, you have to land.
Yeah, at this point, my options are landing in London.
Oh, and
I'm
Mina's got
forgetting
excellent.
the name.
I forgot. Mina has excellent weather, doesn't she? You saw that from the beginning.
She does have excellent weather, and I believe I forgot about it at in the game.
Because she just moves to 29 now. Obviously, she doesn't know you're in English Channel, but she might just spontaneously go there anyway. Ho ho ho. Man, you got fog, so that may well save you. But then once that's gone, what other protection do you have? Do they have enough to hurt you really badly 2v1? Godalming and Mina. Ooh. Oh, interesting. Maybe Topher doesn't know how that's used.
It could be the case. That could be the case.
Oh, wait, what? Did you use it for the deduction?
He
didn't.
not.
What? But then should.
I guess because hide is already revealed on the trail.
Then I guess it wouldn't come up with a prompt. Yeah, I've never seen that being used like that before. Interesting.
Yeah, it could also be that he misclicked and accidentally used it.
Oh, unless he meant to play some other special card, or maybe pressed it by mistake and then couldn't back out of that move, I suppose. Yeah, in case people don't know, Wax Cylinder is a card that only Sud can play. It has two options on it. If you play the deduction side, you reveal an encounter card on any space of the trail. If you play the analysis, it basically tells you if hide has been used, and the way at least the digital edition implements it is it will reveal the hide card, and then because of that it will also reveal the city location associated with hide. And that's also a very bold move going to Plymouth. Oh, wow, okay. That's fortunate.
I got a little bit lucky there.
You probably wish you moved to London now, right?
At this moment, I'm still okay with being in Plymouth.
You just have to hope if Mina does come across, she doesn't sit there indefinitely. I guess you could feed hide and then wolf form out of Plymouth. That's one way you can get around that problem. Oh, okay, nice use of Money Trail. Shame there's no Speedy Telegraph, because if Speedy Telegraph had been used in conjunction with that, that would be potentially on doing, because Grammy would be able to move next into Swansea. Mina could jump onto you if she wanted to, or she could do something else, like Exeter Weather to North Sea, and then land in Edinburgh, and then your 2 escape routes are caught, are trapped. But she doesn't Exeter Weather. I'm not quite sure why. I'd either Exeter Weather on top of you if she's really well equipped, or I would Exeter Weather to North Sea and then land in Edinburgh. Because you can't get to Edinburgh. That's okay. If you didn't have Speedy Telegraph, then that's okay. I can't complain about the Hunters not having something. That'd be very unfair of me.
It would be. It would be.
Now, if you did have Speedy Telegraph, though, only Topher knows. If Topher had Speedy Telegraph, that was the time to play it. You want to use Speed Telegraph on its own is not the strongest card. When you use it in conjunction with things like Money Trail or Hypnosis or Renewed Vigor and all that sort of that, then that's where the power comes in. Or to trade.
Speed Telegraph. Yeah, Speedy Telegraph is a very powerful setup card.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you do need Speed Telegraph to check city locations in a certain order, but in this situation, normally you would use it to facilitate the power of other cards. Because, imagine if he'd found out, as I said, if he'd found out with Van Helsing's turn first, all the other hunters could then react to that. And you could formulate a plan about how, because you could easily get boxed in here, if that'd been the case.
Very easily.
I mean, Mina could still Excellent Weather. Oh, wait, can she use Excellent Weather when she's at sea? Ooh, I don't think she can. Yeah,
I don't think so.
No, because technically when you're at sea, you can only move. You can't use special actions. That's like another weak quirk of the game. Now, alternatively here, you could hide and then really beat up Mina. Oh wait, no, you're in Plymouth, you're not in London. I keep thinking you're in London, because that's where Chuckler's normally land. Oh, what are you going to do then? Are you going to move to London, or are you going to stay put?
Oh.
I don't know, it's really awkward, because I guess if she moves to London and you're not there, then it's obvious where you are. She's going to try and wait for the war form, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm thinking try to wait for the wolf form, try to keep myself safe and hidden as much as possible. Because I do have the fog and now a spy on Plymouth.
Yeah. I would say actually moving to London with the spy, I think in this case would be better, because Mina's down an item, so she's lost the stake. She's revealing a rifle. So what she's going to do, she's going to get rid of the rifle that she's already revealed to you. So I know you're not getting much information in that sense, then she's down to one item. She might end up revealing everything if she doesn't want to throw away her only weapon. Obviously then if something like Heroic Leap comes out, then the Hunters have got a big win out of it, especially since you've taken damage at sea. I guess it depends on how aggressive you want to be. I'm just worried about the possibility of you getting trapped and not being able to get out. And you'll just take lots of damage anyway, especially now Gadami is going to land in Swansea. And if Mina moves to London...
Yeah, I play a very passive Dracula, so I tend to just avoid thinking about taking the fight to hunters and instead think about just getting away from them.
The issue is in this situation you're getting surrounded really fast.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you have to play aggressive, because, I mean, again, you can die very quickly as well if you play aggressive. But I think sometimes if you play too passive, they just surround you. And then you have to end up walking into them anyway. Sometimes you do have to take the fight to them. It'd be interesting to see how you get out of this. Or is your opponent going to get impatient and move into you? If I was in this situation, the exact situation the Hunt player would be here, I just get... Seward can stay put where he is, but the other three just land in the UK and they just wait you out. Because either you're going to have to move into them, or you're going to have to wolf form into Manchester, which is not a good location to be wolf forming to, because you're not on a port. So then Mina can then just move to Liverpool to block it. So if the Hunters play patiently, you should die here. It'd be interesting to see what happens, because I have seen it before where Hunters get, and rightly so, because it's like you want to kill Dracula, but sometimes just let Dracula move into you, and it just deals with all of the problems. Okay. That makes sense, given Mina, where Mina is. You wouldn't move into it now.
Yeah. And at this point, I'm fully expecting very bad things to happen to me very soon.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
just hoping.
wow, you got lucky there. That was the wrong spot for Godalming to go to. Reason why, because people don't know why. Dracula can now wolf form to Swansea. Wolf form's off the trail. So the Hunters have just given you a massive reprieve. I guess the only way this doesn't happen is if now Mina moves into Swansea. It'd just be so much better if Godalming was there. Liverpool's not the problem here. You can deal with Liverpool later. Okay, Sheik. Okay, that's fine. Oh, you've got Seward now coming across as well. I think his channel's not coming off for a long time. I think the only way you get out of this unscathed is somehow all 4 hunters move into you. You then play a natural fog when the last hunter moves in, and they don't have any forewarned. Are you cheating? I'm very confused. Oh, oh no. Oh, is this oh, is this does Topher not realize that Plymouth is English Channel, not Irish Sea? I've had other players mix that up before.
I think that may very well be what happened here because I know that I also did that early on.
Ah, right. Again, this is British knowledge also being handy for me that I know Plymouth is on the south coast of the UK. Oh, wow. Well, he's going to find you eventually when Seward moves in. Unless Seward... Oh, Seward moves into Plymouth. Oh, there's so many ways. Okay. Oh, I'm so fascinated how this is going to go.
But this game gets very interesting around here.
Oh, no, Konami! No! Oh, oh goodness. He's right there. Oh. I have a lot of questions. And that's the cool thing with the digital edition. If you made illegal moves, then you'd get the penalty. I have a lot of questions. Oh, poor Topher. Oh,
Yes.
wow. Wait. What is going on? Seward moved back. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. It still could be curtains for you because you could get a 3-on-1 here and you have no fog. Is the English child only touching 3 ports? Yeah, we've only checked 2 of them. Okay, that's very gracious of you saying correct. We only checked 2 of them. Oh no!
I don't reveal that part.
No, obviously not. For good reason. This is a tournament. So. And even though we're talking about newer players here, you still don't want to say anything because you don't want to compromise your own position, which makes a lot of sense. We are playing for wins at the end of the day. What do you mean he's hit all 3? I'm very confused what Topher means by this. I just hit all 3. Oh, you just see how you... Yeah, it's in my best interest not to tell you. Yep. That's. Oh no, has he mixed up Swansea and Plymouth? Ah.
I think he may have.
I mean, the funny thing is, because you've used 2 fogs, like, really preemptively here, this could still be curtains for you. If all Topher has to do here, all Topher has to do is just assess the situation from the beginning, and he will find you. Now, whether or not he'll be able to capitalize a different decision, good. I agree with that. Good move. Your opponent's giving you a way out, and you have to take it, and that is exactly the right move. Going to Irish Sea Coast here would be a near-death sentence. It would be a 50-50 choice if it's, if Godalming or Mina lands on you. You could end up in a 2 or 3v1. Good move. Oh, man. Oh, poor Topher. Oh, man. I hope he watches this back, but at the same time, I hope he's okay with it. That's very unfortunate. Oh, man.
It is very unfortunate.
Oh, man, he had you.
He had me all sorts of ways.
Yeah. Oh, now he fought. Oh, man. Oh, no. I don't. Ah, wow. Okay. Yeah, he had you bang to rights. Oh, just play wax cylinders. Oh, if he'd actually just played wax cylinders, this would have solved all the problems. The
It
irony.
would have, wouldn't it?
The irony.
He played it 2 turns early, and he does still have it.
Yeah, he does still have it. Oh, man. This is also really good for you because this fog is potentially going to mature in Plymouth, and you could end up trapping 2 hunters in a really awkward spot in the UK. You could also maybe even potentially run, like, do a little donut around Britannica, then land back again, depending on how you feel about it. But you could even just, I mean, your wolf form's gone. But you could just land in Hamburg and just run your way down towards the, the eastern part of the map. And I don't know if I could have the movement to catch you. You're on a rail. You will be on a rail line there, though. Oh wow. Oh, the hunters had you. They were covering all the ports. You couldn't get off. You're gonna have to move into one of them eventually.
Yeah, I had no business getting out of that.
No. And also, we're watching it from your perspective, so it's good for you, but that is very unfortunate.
Yes.
Okay. Well, sometimes you have to ride your luck a little bit with this game.
Yeah, so sometimes you get lucky, and that luck gets you through a difficult spot.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Van Helsing. Oh yeah, you could just trap Van Helsing almost indefinitely at the UK with this fog maturing again. Hard scouts? No. Well, in one of my previous post-game analysis, I predicted. Oh, that was your game. I said at one point, I'll just imagine if Wyrmtalon got consecrated ground, and then you literally drew it. So
Yeah, I remember that analysis.
So it does work.
you just have predictive powers.
Mm-hmm.
You know this game so well.
Oh, Roscoe calls me the card whisperer. I just get everything, especially when I play against him. I just get all the cards I want. Okay. That is massive. Yeah, especially now, poor Seward has gone backwards and forwards, in and out Le Havre. the hotels in the Havre must be very confused. Like, what is this man doing? He stays for a day, then leaves, then comes back, then leaves, then comes back, then leaves. Having to keep the room reserved for him and everything. So yeah, this is very very good for you. Obviously, it's still early days in the there's still time. This is we're talking about. I can't even work out if it's second or third week, just because so much has happened. Oh, I don't know about that. Why Mina?
Why Mina indeed. I think I might have gotten a little bit confused on exactly when the fog tokens got removed and thought Helsing still had one on him.
But it doesn't matter
That might have
because
been it.
they stack.
Oh, okay. I did not realize they would keep stacking.
I remember in the first tournament, I managed to get 4 fog tokens on Lisbon because I had a fog and a hide with a fog. So I managed to
Okay.
trap 1 or 2 hunters in 4 layers of fog. So yeah, they stack.
Okay.
They don't get removed, so yeah, it doesn't matter. But that's fine. Again, that's how often does that happen? Very rarely, so it's okay. I think maybe trapping Van Helsing because he is closer to you. He's more of a threat to you. But at the same time, you could have also put it in Edinburgh, but it wouldn't have guaranteed the mature. So I think either way, it's fine. I don't think it's going to be that consequential.
I think that might have been why, actually. I was thinking Mina would go to Edinburgh to try to deal with that mature, and so I wanted to try to delay her and make so she had less time for it.
That makes sense, but then she has more chance to supply to get the stake that she needs. But then again, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. I think it's fine to keep her trapped in fog. Especially now Van Helsing's moving off the UK, she's gotta have to deal with this. Otherwise, that's a. I can't remember. What did you put in there? Reckless, right? Or new one?
I put a reckless on that one.
Okay, so yeah, well, it doesn't matter.
Pretty sure.
Either way. That's going to be GG if that matures. So you're putting a lot of pressure on her, especially if she doesn't have a railway ticket to get there in time. Okay. And that's a little bit scary, but
A little bit.
you can potentially work around it. What? Oh, he doesn't know if it's Swansea or yeah, he doesn't know if you will form to Swansea or to Edinburgh. Okay, okay. So yeah, Ireland is a possibility. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So you're in Berlin now. Oof. Okay. Oh, that's a risky one. Because if you go to Prague, you might get trained on. If you go to Leipzig, you might just walk into you.
Yep.
Cool. But still, it's a 1v1. You're on continental Europe, so escape as a bat is way more effective here than it is in the UK. So, yeah, I think you just. Ooh, you could have potentially misdirected Hamburg. Because you also could have been Amsterdam, but then again, then you might just move to Berlin anyway. So I think maybe having more things on the trail just in case is not a bad thing. Or you threw down a spy, right?
I threw down a bat, I believe, there.
Okay. Bat is fine, but the problem is bat doesn't stop you from combat. That's the problem. It triggers during the night phase rather than the dusk phase, so you can't use it to prevent combat, unfortunately. I can't remember now what your encounter had was. I haven't actually been paying attention. It was kind of there's the one thing I actually wanted to pay attention to, and I've not really paid attention to it because so much other stuff has been happening. If you had a spy,
It,
I
it,
probably would have thrown down the spy instead, because then Godalming's forced into a situation where is he going to throw away a weapon in a 1v1? He has no forewarned, so he can't cancel it. Mina has to get. Well, no, she can get to Edinburgh tomorrow, but she has to. Oh, is she gonna go to? Oh no, she knows it's Edinburgh. She's deduced it. Yeah. Throw a cleap. Hey, called it.
yes, he did.
Wow. Okay, this game's gonna keep going. I like it. You still got a week until Fury of Dracula points kick in. You got the movement advantage, which is good. You might end up baiting Godalming to a bad night. How heals you have?
It is actually Sunday week 3 at the moment.
Oh, crap. So it is. So much stuff happened. It didn't feel like 3 weeks. Oh god. Oh
Well, you know
god.
what they say, time flies when you're having fun, and this game is a fun one.
Good job we didn't have like a heart rate monitor connected to you during this game. I dread to fake how many BPM it got to.
it was terrifying.
I can well imagine. Oh yeah, now if it's Sunday week 3, I don't know if he can catch you in time. You just got a little bit too far away from him. And the problem is, I understand why he checked Hamburg, because he has to ascertain if it's Hamburg or Amsterdam or Ireland. I totally get it. But the problem is he's not going to where you are. He needs to be getting ahead of you. I don't know if Sud and Van Helsing have the movement to get around in time. They need like charter carriage or sense of emergencies. I don't know if they have it, because of the lack of supplying earlier. Now, I don't know if it would have made much of a difference because of all the shenanigery in the UK. I mean, the funny thing is, this game could have been over already if UK had gone differently. If you just stayed on ports, there's no way you could get out of that. Yeah, this game could have been over.
It certainly could have been.
This game's amazing. I never get bored of watching it. When you think you've seen everything. Okay, nice. Strength, that makes a lot of sense. Revealing 2 weapons to you. Oh, of course, it's a night fight, isn't it? Yeah, that's just... Oh, these are massive wins for you. This just makes Godalming even less threatening to you going forward the next couple of days. He's down weapons, yeah. Yeah, I would, honestly. I don't think... If this vampire does to heavily hose, I don't think you really care, because then the heavily hose is used up. If you just break more weapons...
Or break his fist.
Yep, that works too. Yeah. Oh wow, that's even worse then. So you've broken his fist, and then he doesn't even go to the hospital to get it checked. Damn. He's just running around the rest of the game with a broken fist. Yeah, I get it. Just play super aggressive against him. Why not? You beat him up, it just makes him... Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, takes his health down, and
Yeah.
the vampire still lives.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think by the time this vampire matures, you're going to probably win from Fury of Dracula points anyway, so... This vampire doesn't have to necessarily still be alive. this vampire's not your win condition. I think it's something that I talk about quite a lot on both sides. Like, what is your win condition, or what is your your win condition, but also your combat objectives? Does that vampire have to be alive? Not necessarily. You've got poor Topher, you had the card. If you just played it when you were in Plymouth, and job would have been a good one. Okay, plays the deduction side. The problem is it doesn't reveal the city. That's the issue. It reveals the encounter. Which is why deduction is only good if you really need to know what an encounter card is. Ooh. Yeah. And even if... I mean, Godami doesn't have... what am I trying to say? Godami doesn't have an event. But even if you don't have Child Carriage, what's he going to do? Jump on you with 3 health? Okay. Nice. I think Spy is a good one to go with. Or were you thinking what I'm thinking?
I am probably thinking what you're thinking.
Are you going to try to get to the castle? Oh, you won't be able to heal though. You'll get the Fury of Dracula points before you heal. Just for swag points though. Oh, wow. Jamie Philly will be very proud though. It's fine. It was just a layer, so it's fine. Getting rid of dogs from a layer is perfect. Yeah, you just got just a little bit too much of a lead. They don't have movement because they didn't supply enough. The item deck hasn't reset. That really goes to show how little the Huns have been supplying. I know there's a trap that Huns supply too much, and they don't prioritize things. But I would argue for newer players, I think the case is the general rule is that inexperienced hunters supply too little rather than too much.
I think that's a reasonable assessment, yeah.
So I can imagine now you're playing this and the BPM are coming down now. You're 2 turns away.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little calmer now.
And he's put the pin in the castle as well. Yeah. I mean, for swag points, you could have just thrown it down, but I mean, yeah, it's not going to make a difference because you're either going to win this turn or next turn if there's a vampire lair. Okay, makes sense. So he now knows exactly where you're going. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, he need a renewed vigor and a sense of emergency or something, but even then he'll be sued on his own. That's not going to be enough, unfortunately. Yeah, you may as well. Just
Might as well.
Yeah, you may as well, right? Oh, wow. That was a game. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that.
I know I've never played anything quite like that.
I don't think you'll want to again, right?
Not especially, no.
That's a very close shave. Good grief.
I don't like trusting on my luck so much.
No, no. Yeah, this is I mean, you did well. You got the 7 points early and all that good stuff, but
and I almost did the wolf form hide again.
now the fun thing is
I
you wolf form to the castle, you don't actually get the healing, unfortunately. Oh wait, what?
I did get the healing.
Oh, that's another bug. Oh no. Oh no, that's not how that's supposed to work. Oh, for good grief, game.
Oh,
When you think you've seen every bug, okay, right. So I'll explain to people in case you don't know why I'm laughing at that. Oh, sorry. Right, I'll go back to the victory screen. Come on, come on. Where is it? Come on. There you go. Right, victory. So the reason why is because we play tested this. If you make a normal move into the castle, and that is the move that gains you the 13 influence to win, you do not heal. The game triggers the end before you heal. But apparently, if you wolf form, now we've discovered if you wolf form, you do actually heal. Oh, and that's so weird because you healed from the castle move first, and then you took damage. It should be the other way round. You're doing the wolf form, so you take the damage, and then you heal retrospect. I mean, it all works out the same number, so it doesn't matter. But
that's
well,
how that went.
that I guess you ended on 14 health. Then I suppose we have to play it as it lies. Good to know.
I,
Oh,
uh,
right. Well,
digital edition and its quirks.
yeah. Oh, I have to write. I didn't expect. I actually thought about that the other day. I was like, yeah, we've played so many tournament games. We've surely found all the bugs. There's no way there's any interactions we haven't discovered. Nope. How wrong I was.
Well,
I jinxed it. Right. When this game's over or when this recording's over, I'm gonna have to go into the Discord and write a message to everybody.
well, I mean, I think this might just be my role in tournaments to find new bugs each time.
I mean, good job, I guess. Thank you for trying it. So obviously now,
My pleasure. My pleasure.
seeing how it all played out, is there anything you're reflecting on, or I guess at the time you kind of realize, oh, there's some things I should have done slightly differently, but
There were several things that I think I should have done differently, and I think we covered most of them over the course of the commentary. I used the storms too early. I probably should have gone to South Atlantic rather than circling around Britannica.
hmm
And sometimes luck just wins.
yeah, yeah. But you see right how if I thought it was going to be Hunter impatience would move into you and that would give you your escape. I didn't realize it was going to come down to the Hunter not. I don't know exactly. Obviously, we don't have Topher's perspective, so we don't know exactly what was going on.
Yeah,
But
possibly misreading the map, possibly
yeah,
all sorts of possibilities.
the things you know it right, and this is something that Quincy Morris said like probably a year or 2 years ago on his channel that you can't go into a game. It doesn't matter who you're playing against. You can't go into the game and make your moves assuming your opponent is going to play bad moves. If you bait
Yeah,
them into a situation by playing a fog and they walk into it with no forewarned and that gives you the escape, that's fine. You've played the odds and that's okay. But in a situation like this where maybe someone's misread the map or whatever, you can't plan for that.
you really can't.
No.
And at that time where he was surrounding me in England, I was just about ready to call it because I was expecting a 4v1 to hit me any moment.
Yeah. And even if the hunters were not amazingly well equipped, 4v1 is just devastating. And even if you hadn't died, you would have taken so much damage that trying to get off the UK would be near impossible. So yeah, it would have been curtains. So yeah, if Topher's watching this, you are actually so close to victory. But yeah, sometimes you just lady luck smiles on you, right, and it works out. Um,
But sometimes it just works out that way.
I'm interested because this is something I didn't ask Snuff when Snuff was in here doing the post game analysis. How soon as a player do you like reflect on the game and you think about the mistakes that you make? Because I learned this from playing League of Legends. Not that I was very good at it, but watching really good players play League of Legends, and they always said you need to like actively reflect on the games that you. In order to improve, you need to actively reflect on it and think about the moves that you make. Rather than just going, right, that's the game done, right, we're done. If you want to improve, you have to actively reflect on it. How soon after was it just now as we were going through it and you were reliving it? Because obviously it's been a few days, right? It's been like 3-4 days since you played this game. So you had a little bit of distance from it. Were you
Yeah.
realizing it
Well,
at the time? What was kind of the, how do you sort of approach it?
I tend to reflect on the game pretty much as soon as I get to this results screen. I
Hmm.
start to think, well, what could I have done better? What mistakes did I make? What where did I just get lucky?
Hmm. Um,
So I like to think about that a bit, like right after the game,
Regardless of its
and
victory or defeat.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that's the
yeah,
way to do it. You can't look at a victory screen and go, "Oh, right, I played flawlessly," because there could be so many mistakes hidden in there. And it's just if your opponent doesn't punish you, then you get away with it. But then it could happen again at some point. It just depends. Um,
yeah. But that's me. Yeah, different people will look at things at different times. So
sure, sure.
yeah, but I think also it's beneficial to come back later and look at it again with that extra time to see still were the things I thought were mistakes actually mistakes? Were there mistakes that I did not see at the time?
Hmm.
So I think it's valuable to look at it immediately afterward and after some time has passed. I think there's merits to both.
But obviously, during you're just focusing so much on the game, like in the present. You might end up thinking to yourself during the game, "Oh, I should have done it slightly differently," but you just got so much to think about.
Yeah.
You can't do it until afterwards. So I feel unless you're doing a game where you're like coaching somebody, I don't think it's useful at the in the moment of the game. Obviously, in a tournament game, we'd never do it. But if we're playing a friendly game, I don't think at the moment it is useful to tell players if you're spectating or whatever, oh, you should have done this differently, you should have done this differently. Because I don't know about maybe everyone's different, but for me, I went through that learning curve where I was just so focused on trying to handle everything, doesn't matter what role you're playing. Like just having this extra voice saying this, it doesn't work for me. At least for me, it doesn't work. But then if you look after it, where you're away from the pressure of the game, whether it's immediately after or if it's a couple of days later or whatever, um, I think it's very beneficial.
I would agree. I would agree.
Um, so yeah, I think this is the cool thing too. The fact we're trying to record as many games, it means then if everybody can get featured, regardless of who it is who's commentating, then they can look back on it. Um, and it's really nice too having like yourself here, and you can explain your full process as you're going through it. Um, but you can see how also you have to be adaptable because we were talking about how like, are you planning to make this move? Are you planning to wolf form here? And then suddenly situations change, hunters change position or whatever, and you had to then adapt your plan. Um, your heart rate would have been probably a little bit a little bit lower had you just wolf formed east rather than going up to Hamburg. That set in
Yeah.
motion
Yes.
all the
Yes.
chaos that was going to follow.
Yeah.
um, that's the thing. You just got to try and not let, even if you do make a mistake and you realize in the moment, I did that wrong. You can't let that affect the rest of your game because I mean I've done it. I'll admit it. I've lost games like that where you make one mistake and then your whole brain just goes and you just lose focus on what it's supposed to be doing, and you've still got a game to win. You can reflect on it afterwards. It just depends on how reactive you are and how sensitive you are to your mistakes, I suppose.
Yes. Yeah. I think I've also lost games to seeing the some maybe a larger mistake that I've made
Mm-hmm.
in the moment, and then just focusing on that one mistake and how that changed the course of the game, and then focusing so much on that that I kind of lose focus of the in the moment and the playing the game further.
So a
So
question that just suddenly popped into my head, if you got time, is because obviously you came into the World Championship in the last few months of 2023. I'm not rubbing it in. I'm just for context. Obviously, you went 0-6 in your group initially, but then you won the last two games against,
Yeah.
I can't remember what factions you were, but you beat Randiv and beat Spencer Wolfheart, and that's no mean feat. They've been, they're experienced players, and they've been in multiple tournaments before. Um, and now obviously in this tournament, you're doing really well. So now you'll be 5-1 in the first stage. I know it's a slightly different caliber of opponent. Obviously, the way you know the competitors are different, but still, there's a there's a very noticeable improvement in your game. What do you think you're doing differently in terms of, you imagine back to those early games of the World Championship and now? Is it just a progress over time thing, or is there something you're deliberately doing differently? What is there anything that you can share?
I feel like for the most part, it's just I've gotten a better understanding of the mechanics of the game. So when and I still stumble a bit. Like, for instance, I did not realize that wolf forming into the castle and getting healing was a glitch.
Hmm.
I thought that that was working as intended.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I feel like it's mostly less stumbling because I've got a firmer grasp of the mechanics now.
Hmm.
I also feel like the times that I've spent some time studying your videos, Quincy Morris's videos, and learning that deeper strategy. I feel has helped a lot. I can learn fairly well through observing.
Hmm.
Obviously, actually practicing makes a huge difference. But I feel like I learned well enough through observation that watching those higher caliber games, I just kind of put myself in the position a bit and try to think, okay, what were they thinking as they were doing this, and trying to follow the logic behind their moves.
Mm. And but do you also sometimes see yourself, if you're watching, say, one of Quincy's games or one of my games or whoever it is you're watching, do you then find yourself maybe coming up with alternative perspectives? You're finding that you think, oh, you could have maybe done it slightly differently, perhaps.
Uh, yeah, all the time I think about, well, what if he had moved here instead?
Mm-hmm.
What if you what if he had played this card at that time? Yeah, I do like to think about the alternate possibilities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good because that was something interesting that came up. I can't remember who it was I was talking to. Maybe it was one of the other players from the tournament. I can't remember. But somebody said to me, or maybe it was a comment that somebody else said. I can't remember. But they said that, because I might have recommended the videos, and they said that they learn more through doing than watching, which I can completely appreciate.
Yeah,
Because
I
everybody
can
learns
appreciate
differently.
that.
But
Yeah,
I feel sometimes it can be hard if you learn by doing, because you need some sort of reference to know what. I mean, you can learn just by doing in this game, but the problem is you need to play so many games to see the number of permutations. It could be helpful just to see, like, something very basic, like there's something so complicated as well, like the use of renewed vigor as a random example. Um, Seeing it being used in the correct way. So then it gives you an idea in terms. I was talking about this with Snuffleupagus when I was doing the analysis together. The timing of playing that renewed vigor. Otherwise, you have to go through so many games on your own trying to work that out for yourself, and that could be quite a tricky thing to get a handle on. Because this game is just so complicated with so many
it
interactions.
really is. Yeah, but there's a lot to this game,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm fortunate to be the sort of person that can learn a fair bit through watching.
Mm-hmm. And then put into practice. Then you see it
Yeah,
for yourself, and you get that validation when you see it work or not work for you. Then
yeah, yeah. I'd say so.
that's good. Yeah, I remember before the first World Championship, I was losing so many games, especially to Mr. Green. He was like my nemesis at that point. He was like the the equivalent of Wakajic nowadays, just always asking for games, and he'd always be beating me. But you learn a lot from it, and I think especially through defeats, you learn a lot more. I mean,
Yeah,
in this case, we're able to do a lot of analysis on it. But I think because the defeat, it's more raw, it hurts you more maybe emotionally, so you think you might analyze losses a lot more than wins, and you have to go through that sort of process of it. And that can be really hard though for newer players if they get stomped, a few times, and then something like, this is not for me, and then they maybe quit before that sort of potential is unleashed.
Yeah, and there's definite possibility of getting discouraged if you find yourself up against a higher level opponent early on in a game like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is why we did this tournament. Hopefully, it helps out those newer players a little bit, and not have it as such an intense, um, you know, environment for them to participate in the first time. Well, thank you again, Wyrmtalon, for coming on. First, welcome again to the channel, and thank you very much for providing the footage and for commentating. Is there anything in particular you want to add before we finish up?
I think I'm good. Thank you for having me. Thanks for commentating on and analyzing this game. It's been very informative, really. It's helpful.
Oh, that's good. I'm happy that's the case then. Hopefully, it's been informative to everybody watching too, and also hearing, not just two, really, really experienced old farts just talking about the game, right? Having, a current competitor and a relatively new member of the community having a different voice. It's great. I will leave a link, as always, in the description to Wyrmtalon's Twitch channel. I think your YouTube's in there too, as well as all the other people who are recording games from for Fury of Dracula nowadays and the New Blood Championship, so you can check out the playlist and everything. So if you stumble across this video, there's much more that can be found on my channel and on others. And if Wyrmtalon's streaming any future games in the tournament, then definitely go and check them out. And thank you for watching, everybody. If you want to leave any comments below with any thoughts, anything that we missed or whatever, if there's any questions you want to ask Wyrmtalon, then by all means do so, and I can then, if I see any comments directed to you, Wyrmtalon, I'll let you know in due course.
Appreciate it.
And good luck for the rest of the tournament until we speak again.
Thank you, and take care.
Yeah, and thank you everybody for watching. See you in another video very soon. Bye bye.